Hello there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond with a brand new video for you. This is a YouTube / BSU original because I decided to put it on YouTube first because I didn't want to put my raw video on Blue Shirt Underground. I might as well give you a YouTube link. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is my feelings towards the Rangers being out of the playoffs against the Penguins? You really think I'm happy about this? Of course I'm not happy about it. But worst of all is that I seem to be the only BSU member who is so positive about the playoffs. And as many of you probably can figure, that I'm not a 100% Ranger fan. I'm leaning towards 65-70% Rangers and the rest being Leafs. Because the Leafs have only made the playoffs once since 2004. And that's not funny. And it was in a shortened season, no less. I mean, good grief. I mean, yeah, you Ranger fans are complaining about that. You have nothing on Canada at all. New York's won titles like in football and baseball since 1994. How many Canadian franchises have won either baseball, basketball, football, hockey? Obviously not NASCAR and wrestling because I cannot put them on the list. Zero. I mean, good grief. And Jim, I honestly think you just don't get the Canadian public at all. I mean, seriously, I'll get more on that later. So first and foremost, yes, I know that I get a lot of shtick from the BSU group. Have I quit the BSU group? No. I was tossed out in 2013, but that was my own fault because I made some insensitive comments towards the Boston Marathon. Got myself a week ban, got back, and you know that. I know you're saying, why did I not call in for the Blue Shirt Underground show tonight? Simple. One simple thing. And that was because, A, I knew that there would be a lot of people jamming the phone lines. And B, is that Jim said, oh, we have a strict timeline. And I'm like, I think I have a lot to get off my chest. I mean, he won't give me the time, which is fine. I mean, I understand. I mean, I know Rock did like 10-15 minutes, but he's entitled to, I guess. And Howie ended the show. I didn't want him go after Rock. I didn't want to go before Howie. I mean, that would ruin the whole show dynamic. Anyway, and besides, you wouldn't know me from the computer, but I got a little peeved and all that. I was grinding my teeth and all that. I would have, you guys are lucky. If I had called in, there would have been a World War III. Trust me. Because it would have been too highly emotional and all that. Between me and Jim and Eddie and everyone else in the chat room. So basically Jim said, you know, we should get rid of Hendrick. The problem is, who wants a goalie that cannot get his team to the Stanley Cup? Well, to one Stanley Cup final. I mean, honestly, who wants Hendrick? I mean, if he goes to another team, that team could suck too. And that would be too shitty. If you want to get rid of Hank, then just buy out his contract. Because, honestly, no one wants Hendrick in a trade. I mean, they've got goalie systems. I mean, you got Dallas, that was mentioned in the chat room, but they have a 2-goalie system with Lehtinen and Niemi. You got Minnesota, but Devin Dubnyk is carrying that team. I know a lot of people said Toronto in the chat room, or even in Montreal, to trade for Mike Condon. Montreal already has Carey Price. I mean, you can't ask Hendrick to back up Carey Price. And second of all, with the Leafs, I mean, yeah, they have all this cap room, but they're fucking tankers. Honestly, I mean, I knew they were tanking the last game of the season when they played New Jersey, and they put Garrett Sparks in the net. God damn it, I knew that. But I have a feeling the Leafs will not get the #1 pick, will not get Austin Matthews, because obviously tanking doesn't work anymore. Buffalo really tanked last year, and did they get the #1 pick? No, it was Edmonton. Buffalo got the 2 pick and got Eichel, who was pretty good. I mean, Toronto, does Jim and Eddie not realize what would happen to Henry in Toronto or even Montreal? The pressure will wilt him. I have seen this before. I watch TSN, and my TSN feed is all Leafs and all that, is the Ontario feed. And they're talking about the Leafs and all these pressures. Phil Kessel did a lot more than he was supposed to when he left Toronto, because the media put him under a microscope. And in Montreal or Toronto, that's terrible. I mean, I'm all for Hank maybe coming to Toronto, but the pressure's going to kill him and boil him. And it's 10 times worse in Montreal and Toronto than New York. Honestly. You got to believe me. I mean, I honestly know what's going on. So basically, the fact of the matter is that, you know, if you're going to get rid of someone, get rid of Girardi and even get rid of Yandel, because I watched that Game 5 and I saw Yandel make too many giveaways and I'm like, fuck, what's he doing here? Is anyone insulting Yandel in the chat room or on the fan base? Probably. I say just buy Girardi and Yandel out. I know you'll have to buy them out, but, you know, no team is going to want Girardi or Yandel. I guess you're saving a buyout for Nash. I wouldn't blame the Ranger fan base for getting rid of Nash. I mean, Nash will probably retire. Dan Boyle's going to retire. Man, I saw that coming because I'm like, you give a 40-year-old that kind of contract, 2 years and whatever, $1 million? Jeez. Yeah. And they say, oh, Brassard had a bad playoff. Everyone had a fucking bad playoff except for Shea. And maybe Makarov. That's it. Everyone's had a bad playoff, Jim and Eddie. To single out Brassard like that? That is just unacceptable. Yeah, I know, but everyone was a ghost in the playoffs, even Nash. If he had scored that goal when it was 4-2, then yeah, maybe the Rangers would have probably made it close. It would have been a tighter game than that 6-3 shellacking. So anyway, yeah. Fuck, I had this all... Oh yeah, and there's another point. Jim and Eddie... Jim has been avoiding this for years. And I keep saying, why don't we just have a hockey trivia competition between Jim and Eddie? Because honestly, I mean, seriously, I would love to see those two guys go head to head. You know, because I gotta know who's the genius and all that. Well, I can come up with questions and all that. Besides, if I come up with questions, I'm not gonna favor either or. Now, everyone knows I kind of favored Eddie over Jim. Well, that's not fully true. I mean, Jim has given me a hard time for nearly 6 years. But you know what? It's made me stronger. I think Jim is probably giving me criticism on purpose, which is fine. I can take that. So anyway, yeah, I'm hoping that can happen. And hopefully the next BSU show will be July the 1st, because I don't think Jim and Eddie are going to commit to another show after the show. I mean, what's there to talk about? No one's going to watch the playoffs, not even me. I mean, I'll be busy watching the Blue Jays and the Raptors, provided the Raptors actually get out of the first round. But anyway, yeah, there's still the Blue Jays. I mean, Eddie and Jim got their Mets. Howie and Justin got their Yankees. I don't think anyone else cheers for any teams except for Mets, Yankees, or Blue Jays. And all that. And, oh shit, I just remembered. I was going to lash out over those This is Rangerstown memes that everyone posted up on Friday. Because to me, that means that this fan base was giving up on the Rangers. I mean, good grief. I have to be the one that's the most positive. I know that Jim would not like that because, number one, I'm not a 100% Ranger fan. I'll admit that. And number two, I'm from Canada. And despite the fact I'm from Canada, it doesn't mean that I'm nice 100% of the time. Josh is from Canada, and he's not nice all the time. Granted, most of those flack is with me, but I fucking can take it. I mean, he's not nice. Stop thinking of Canadians as being nice all the time, because I'm not nice 100% of the time. Anyway, so yeah. Sorry about the shaving video. I guess I got told that it was no good. It was a good try, but I guess you didn't see me trim my beard. Oh well, that's fine. So anyway, guess that's it. I'll post the YouTube link in BSU and have everyone at it, because I know for damn sure that I'm going to get blasted. But hey, you know what? That's fine. I don't care. I really don't. That's why I'm doing this video. And besides, I would have taken up a lot of Eddie and Jim's radio time with my stuff. So yeah. Well, next show July 1st, I hope.